I feel that motherhood is truly the most humbling experience ever because it's sort of like a reflection of who you are.
My name is Megan Tan and I am so honored to be your MC for today. But how are you guys feeling this morning?
My name is Megan Tan. I'm a TV host and MC and also a mother of two. My son is 4 years old and my second one, who's a daughter, she is 2 going on 3 in October. Being a mom truly is the toughest job in the world because it's 24/7 and it takes a lot from you physically, mentally and emotionally. And I think being a mom, I finally understood what loving unconditionally means because however your kids behave, the power struggle, the days when you're like, oh, I'm overwhelmed and I've had enough, but you still love them irregardless and you want to be able to be the best version of yourself for them. The best part about being a mom, I would say, is in the little moments. The joy comes from really just the day-to-day stuff, like the hugs and the kisses, or when you return home, when you come home and you have this person who is so happy to see you and just run after you and just want to give you a big hug, and they say that they miss you. I think the most challenging is the feeling of being overwhelmed sometimes, that you're just so out of it. You don't have the mental space or capacity to deal with them sometimes or to manage their emotions and their feelings, because if you're not able to manage your own feelings and emotions, how can you then manage the feelings and emotions of your kids? It's okay to ask for help. In times when you're overwhelmed, you're just so caught up with everything, I feel that it's best to just step away from the situation if you have the luxury of doing so and if you have a great support system. All I have to do is just ask or say something. And for a lot of mothers, I feel like by saying it may feel like you're admitting weakness in a way, or showing the vulnerable side of you, but at the same time, for me personally, I would always tell myself that we're only human, we do get overwhelmed, and it's good that I do show it to my kids as well, that I am struggling too. I have 2 small children who have so much energy and they need to expel that energy. So having a space that allows them to play outside, a playground or a play facility that just allows them to go around and get sweaty, outdoor play, that's the priority for me. And of course, safety as well. I would always look at the safety of the area. Obviously, I want a place where I don't have to constantly worry all the time about the safety of my children and my family. A location where it's close to amenities and facilities like schools and hospitals. Those are also important factors to me.
If the family unit is sound and stable and strong, society will be sound and stable and strong. 25 years ago, I actually started an organization called Focus on the Family, of which I now sit as the chairman, as well as I serve in the region as the Asia Regional Director for Focus on the Family, whereby our main emphasis is to really promote strong family values. To me, a father's role is pivotal to the well-being of our children's life. And therefore, if we are more intentional in playing that role, I think we are building up a generation of people who will contribute more to society. And being intentional calls for a lot of things on our part, because it's so easy to be consumed and to be taken by the tyranny of the urgent. There's so many urgent things to attend to as a father who is developing your career, starting your business, and at the same time the demands of family. So unless we are intentional, we find that we would miss the boat. And therefore, sometimes when our children are already grown up and when we have the time, it could be just a bit too late. When I look at how my father parent me, how I parent my children, and how now my son parent my grandchild, it has definitely evolved and changed so much. There are so many good out of what is available now. I think it was Charles Dickens who says that in his book, A Tale of Two Cities, we are in the best of time and in the worst of time. In the best of time for fatherhood is that there are so many resources that's available. So many organizations now that are helping families and fathers in their fatherhood journey compared to maybe 20, 30 years down the road, right? But we are in the worst of time because I think the things that confronts fathers today is so much more compared to when I was a father. You know, the availability of entertainment, the availability of one kind of distraction to another can consume our time so much. And therefore, I think the challenges for fathers today is so much more because of the progressiveness of society. And I think it's inevitable. Goes back to the fact that unless we are willing to carve out time and intentionally spend with our children, we will just not have the time. After the pandemic, there were a lot of divorce cases. There were cases where people say, I've enough with this family, I've enough with this marriage. And it is sad. I think that's really one of the consequence of the lockdown when people can't cope with the relationship challenges. So if you ask me as an organization, what I need to be more intentional now at Focus on the Family is to be more active in preventive measures, in training people to cope with challenges and difficulties so that when another pandemic were to start, another lockdown were to start, they are able to cope with the kind of situation. For any broken families, they are very insecure. In fact, they feel like they have failed, in one way or another. And therefore, for them, a safe space is really the beginning of growth or rekindling of a broken relationship, whereby they feel safe to talk to one another for a start. And it may not be so easy because if the relationship is being strained and broken, so they need a mediator, an intermediary, like a counselor, whereby they feel safe to share their struggles. And then maybe a third party who listens to it is able to guide and counsel them. And it's not going to be done just by yourself. If I'm having a strain with my wife, both of us got to be going together to hear one another's struggles, with a mediator, so that if we feel that we are just getting too emotional, somebody is to say, maybe we need to take 5, and we can bring this issue out to talk again. When I was growing up, I'm glad I could relate to my sister and my brother, because I know that they will accept me for what I am, for my failures, right? So I think I would like to ensure that I pass on this value to my children. And in order to do that, I think if we could live together and be as much close together, it would be good. Not living together as in the same house, I'm talking about in close proximity, because I think as our children start their own family, it's important that they learn how to manage that individual family on their own as well. But it will be ideal if they are like 5 minutes down the road, I can walk and play with my grandchild and all that. Yeah.
It's time to live life.